Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. Thank you for the Dimension Rift. And today, before we start the episode, I do want to say apologies if you think that I am an hour late. In the Pacific, at least in Asia, we don't celebrate or we don't observe daylight savings time. So yeah, you gained an hour. I didn't. There was never an hour change or time change for me, vernal equinox, all that kind of stuff. So that's why this video may appear to you to be an hour late, but it is in fact still on time. And it intends to arrive exactly when it thought to. Secondly, guys, I do want to say Happy Holly. I did look it up, and it's a really awesome and fun and colorful looking Indian holiday and festival, and I suggest you educate yourself just a little bit on it if you don't already know about it. There's quite a big fan base for Marvel in general, but also Marvel Future Fight in the very large and very influential country of India. So I just wanted to shout you guys out real quick. Let's jump into today's topic. Guys, I want to talk about PvP, more specifically about the health bar, okay? How much HP your heroes have and your villains have when they zone into different PvP scenarios. So specifically today, I want to look at Timeline Battle. I want to look at King of the Hill in Shadowland, and then I also want to talk about, but I can't really look at, Battle World. And we'll do a little bit of, referencing as well to Alliance tournaments. Although I don't have first-hand experience in them, you can go by the replays to see and get an idea for why it's maybe good or bad. Why is this important, guys? It's important because we have heard, as of the latest update that I covered in yesterday's video, if you haven't already checked it out, I recommend that you do. But we are getting Timeline Battle changes. First, we are getting a banned hero list and a recommended hero list, which will come with rewards. Now, whether this hero list and banned list rotate day to day or week to week or some other godly slow schedule is yet to be determined, but it is important because of each character's HP. As well, we are getting friendly match functions, which will allow us to fight with our alliance members in a friendly match, and also our friends in our friends list, hopefully with everyone, as long as you can like chat with them. What's up, channel 298? Won't be here for long, but I have to hold my breath for that. However, it's important to know specifically about the HP, because right now I think it's a really big problem with both Timeline and King of the Hill, and I think it's something that Netmarble has actually fixed and has actually gotten right in both Battle World and Alliance tournaments. So it's a little bit confusing to me why in Battle World and Alliance tournaments, characters have an appropriate amount of HP and they deal an appropriate amount of damage. Now, there is maybe a hidden damage scaling buffer or debuff that happens behind the scenes in Battle World and Alliance tournaments. I have no way of knowing that. I've never gotten confirmation on that. I couldn't find any research that anyone had done about that. I surely can't do any research right now because I'm not in Alliance tournaments and Battle World is closed. But just from watching replays, just from recalling live Battle Worlds that I've done before, it takes a long time to kill enemies. It takes a lot longer than it does in King of the Hill, Shadowlands. It takes a lot longer than it does in Timeline. In Timeline, you can one-shot an enemy with one skill. And we're going to go in now. I recharged my entries after blowing through all of them in the epic, 8.5-hour live stream. And I want to show you guys that even despite the fact that the character is level 60, despite the fact that the character is tier 2, they can be taken out with one skill. Not a rotation, not 5 skills, each cast once. One skill. Sometimes not even one skill to completion. Thank you for the Dimension Rift. Sometimes the character will die midway through. It's not even one shot. It's like half shot, guys. They die midway through. That one skill, okay, Wasp is known to deal pretty lackluster damage. But watch Kate Bishop. That's not even a one shot. That's less than a one shot. Let's see, tier 2. Tier 2 Sharon Rogers would have died. She died there in 2 shots. She would have died in 1 had she not had an invincibility obelisk. And yes, I know that invincibility obelisks are a thing. And yes, I know that it's important to have them in your roster. But just there, I killed a native tier 2 Doctor Strange in less than 2 skills fully rotated. For part of my first skill, the 5th skill, he was immune to damage. For the rest of the skill, he took the damage. He's dead now. He's gone. He's not coming back. RIP. My point being, guys, there's not enough HP or characters are doing too much damage in Timeline and in Shadowland. I want to show you guys some more examples of this so you can get an idea for it. But even the tankiest of characters, and I will admit that Doctor Strange is not particularly tanky compared to Odin, who has the natural damage reduction, compared to Dormammu, who has an all defense leadership, who heals and who revives. But even for characters who are tanky, they can be 1, 2, or 3 shotted by a lot of characters in the game. And okay, I have really good cards, yes. Okay, I have a damage proc obelisk because these are alliance battle statted teams. Yes, these things are all true, and I am taking these things into account when I do consider my position on this situation. But just forget your opinion on the situation based on how many cards I have and how good my cards are. Put your biases or put your saltiness aside for a second, bros, and just see how this feels. Does this feel like a fair fight? Does this feel like a fight where I actually know what the hell is going on when I'm playing? No, it doesn't. I really have to slow down and think about every step of the way because it goes so fast. Why is the battle lasting 10 seconds? These are juggernauts. These are characters that take us months to build up. And in 10 seconds, all of that is wiped away. Yes, you get 10 matches per day, and okay, fine, some of you are saying, oh, well, listen, Cynicalex, your beard looks like shit, and also, I don't take Timeline seriously, I just do it for the crystals. Well, if you do it for the crystals, and if you want the crystals, then you should take it a little bit seriously. And if you should take it a little bit seriously, then you should want a PvP experience, because whether it's AI controlled or not, this is player versus player. This is not Netmarble's Dormammu. This is Wada Wada JK Moon's Dormammu, okay? So, you know, Wada Wada JK Moon's Dormammu is going to be different than somebody else's Dormammu. He's going to be different than damn Fufu's Wasp. So because they're built differently, because they have different obelisks and different stats and different cards and whatever other stats from your alliance or etc. that gets plugged into these numbers when they're finalized on Netmarble's server side, those are all different. So this is a PvP experience, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you think that it's fair or not, fun or not, it is PvP. And if it's PvP, it needs to last longer than this. Why is any character one-shotting or two-shotting or 1.5-shotting another character? I just one-shot Wasp with my third skill. It hits once or twice. Okay, my K Bishop is a strong character, but again, speed characters are statted below speed, blast, combat, and universals, and I only have an 18% damage leadership with Wasp. I don't have 45% physical leadership like I could have with Gorgon. I don't have a 36 or 30% all attack leadership, so I'm not even at the top of the potential for the character, and yet I can wipe their whole team out in 10 seconds flat. If they don't have invincibility obelisks, goodbye. And because there's such a premium placed on one... Boom, you're done. Goodbye. Because there's such a premium placed on one thing, one feature of the character, you know, you can spend all the time in the world building up your characters. You're dead. Or I'm dead. Anyways, you can spend, weeks, you can spend tens of thousands of gold rolling for the perfect ISO 8 set. We've all done that before. You could spend so much time building up your cards, getting Korean cards. And all it takes to be good in PvP right now is an invincibility obelisk. Do you have it? You can do well. You don't have it? You will struggle. You will not do as well. And I know I don't see what happens on the defensive end, okay? Wasp almost one-shotted Doctor Strange there. I know I don't see what happens on the defensive end. I don't see how my characters fare against the opponents that are taking them on in timeline battle. But I see it on the other end when I'm encountering opponents. I see it in Shadowland's King of the Hill when I face a team and I go in with 3 characters that don't have invincibility obelisks, and their team has 3 poorly placed characters or poorly aligned team members, or characters who are not even tier 2, or characters who are just generally less powerful than mine, and they end up winning because they have invincibility obelisks. And this emphasis on one part, this is not even a stat, guys. This is one possible roll that you can get on one piece of gear. Your character has 4 main gears, which you can stat as you like, plus, goodbye Sharon Rogers. Oh, you invincibility yourself. That's good. If the AI didn't know to do that, you'd be dead. Isn't that funny? You're dead. Oh, you're not. You have an invincibility obelisk? You're not dead. Congratulations. You know, your character has 4 gears. Your character has an ISO 8 set, which is arguably, you know, as difficult to roll properly and set up and get all awakened ISO 8s for as an obelisk, and yet the obelisk invalidates everything else. You got the obelisk, you're gonna do good, kid. You don't have the obelisk, you're gonna do not so good, kid. There, I just killed Doctor Strange with Moon Knight with a type disadvantage with 1.5 skills. For part of my 5th skill, he didn't get hit. And then I used part of my 2nd skill and he died. So I have a type disadvantage, okay? Wasp was the leadership, so there was an even 18% all attack on my end and 18% all defense on his end or her end. Okay, I don't know their cards per se, but still, is that really how it should go? I'm not saying that we need to make a drastic change here, but, you know, we could double the HP. That would put it into the hundreds of thousands, but that's one option. I think a better option would be to introduce a damage reduction. Now, I'm pretty sure they have this in Battle World because I know that I do less damage in Battle World. I'm almost 100% sure they have this in Alliance tournaments because those fights last like minutes, not seconds. They last minutes. And yes, all of the characters have invincibility obelisks, so they all are much tankier for that, you know, for that reason. But it also seems like they're doing less damage. They also have a crap ton of HP. So, you know, Netmarble knows to do something right in that PvP arena. Why don't we get the same treatment in Timeline Battle? Goodbye, Doctor Strange. Why don't we get that same treatment? Why is the PvP arena not equalized among all 4 different arenas? Why is there a fluctuation? It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, let's go into King of the Hill so you guys can see again just the premium that you can put on something as simple as an invincibility obelisk to be the difference between winning and losing. This title defense team is not very good, okay? Singularity, Sister Grimm, and Yellow Jacket. This is not a bad team, but it's not a very good team either. Yellow Jacket is probably the scariest one here because he does crazy burst damage and he has lots of iframes to protect himself. I don't have any invincibility obelisks on most of my heroes. I'm going to bring in tier 2 Kate Bishop. I'm going to bring in tier 2 Elsa Bloodstone. We're going to use her leadership. And I'm going to bring in tier 1 Gwenpool. And I bring in tier 1 Gwenpool because she does have an invincibility obelisk. Okay, but she's tier 1, so she has lower stats, she deals less damage. Elsa has immunity on her 5th skill if she chooses to cast it as the AI. And Kate Bishop, I'm going to control. I actually changed my mind. We're going to go like this. I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to call it now in advance. Gwenpool is going to last the longest because of the invincibility obelisk. And I'm still going to lose. Let's see how this plays out. And let's see how fast these characters fall. So we're fighting. Yellow Jacket's already dead. Kate's dead. Gwenpool's at half health. If I choose not to use the 5th skill, Elsa will die. Elsa didn't die. Okay. And now, okay, Gwenpool's dead. Elsa's still alive. And it's over. That was 15 seconds. 5 characters died. The only reason why Elsa survived, and thankfully I won, is because the AI prioritized her 5th skill by chance. How is it that 5 tier 2 characters and 1 tier 1 character with an invincibility obelisk last less than 15 seconds fighting? Does that make sense to you guys? It doesn't really make sense to me. So my plea here, my, you know, thing, my suggestion for Netmarble is just make it even. Make it a flat damage reduction. Make it, let's say, 40%, 50% damage reduction. And yes, your characters will take longer to fight. Yes, Timeline Battle will take a little bit longer. I know. Don't cry. But if you do, catch your tears in a bucket so you can send them to me by post and I can taste how salty they are. Okay, guys? This is important. It'll make PvP more realistic. It'll make PvP more about skill and not about do you have a 5-second invincibility obelisk or not. It won't be a binary yes-no answer. It will be more about skill. Anticipating the characters' animations, interrupting their iframes like we do in World Boss, okay? Those kinds of fights are more entertaining. Fights where your decisions matter are more entertaining. So if you guys agree with me, smash that like. I'm just joking. But anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions about PvP. With the upcoming changes, I think it's really important to address these kinds of things. And I really hope that Netmarble does take the time, because they are making these other positive changes, to make some that actually also do matter. And that they do reflect how important we take these characters and how much effort we put into them when we go and fight with them in PvP, and not make it a 10-second affair. Nobody wants to do a friendly match if it's over in 5 seconds. You know, I'm gonna get bored real fast of doing Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange if it only lasts one skill rotation. So please, Netmarble, make these changes, reduce the amount of damage that we're doing in Timeline and King of the Hill, and put it on par with some of the other PvP game modes, and make your new Timeline battle magnifique, as they say on that Pineapple French show. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are on the upcoming PvP changes, if you like my idea, or if you have another idea to make the fights last just a little bit longer. And of course, guys, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.